The observation deck of Station Kepler 7 hummed with desperate energy. Commander Vextel S. for eyes blinked in sequence. He watched the massive creature thrash against its quantum restraints for the 73rd time that cycle. The Leviathan, as the station crew had taken to calling it, was unlike anything the Galactic Coalition had encountered in 8,000 years of space exploration. Reinforcing containment field to maximum, announced the Krathan engineer, his crystalline fingers dancing across holographic controls. The translucent walls of the holding bay flickered with increased energy, but everyone knew it was temporary. They'd been saying maximum for 3 days now, each time finding a new maximum when the previous one failed. Vextel S. Compis chirped. Commander, the human vessel has docked. They're requesting immediate access to the containment sector. The commander's mandibles clicked in what might have been frustration, or hope. Even he wasn't sure anymore. Send them in. What do we have to lose at this point? The Leviathan was beautiful in its terror, roughly the size of a Corvette-class ship. Its body seemed to shift between states of matter, sometimes solid obsidian, sometimes flowing like mercury, sometimes crackling with pure energy. It had appeared near the station's mining operation on the moon below, and when they'd tried to scan it, the creature had followed them home like a curious but violent pet. Chains made from reinforced titanium carbide alloys had snapped like thread. Gravitational nets designed to hold collapsed stars had parted like cobwebs. Tranquilizers capable of sedating a Thorian battle beast had been absorbed into its shifting form without effect. Sonic dampeners, neural disruptors, cryofields, nothing worked. The creature seemed to feed on everything they threw at it, growing more agitated with each attempt at containment. The doors to the observation deck hissed open, and 2 humans walked in. Vextel had worked with humans before. They were the newcomers to the Coalition, having achieved faster-than-light travel only to centuries ago, practically yesterday in galactic terms. They were odd creatures, soft-bodied, weak in comparison to most species, with only 2 eyes and a disturbing amount of water in their biology. But they had a reputation for unconventional thinking that bordered on insanity. The woman introduced herself as Dr. Anna Reeves, a xenobiologist. She was small even by human standards, with dark hair pulled back in a practical style and eyes that immediately fixed on the Leviathan with intense curiosity rather than fear. Beside her stood Daniel Cross, who introduced himself simply as an animal behaviorist from Earth. Daniel was tall and lean, with sun-weathered skin and an easy posture that seemed almost disrespectful given the crisis at hand. He carried nothing but a small fabric bag slung over his shoulder. So, Daniel said, watching the creature slam against the containment field again, how long has it been doing this? For 0.3 standard days, Vextel replied. We've tried every containment protocol in the Coalition database. Nothing works. It's only a matter of time before it breaks through. And when it does, it'll probably trash your station looking for a way out. Daniel finished, nodding. Yeah, I can see that. Anna was already scanning the creature with a handheld device. Fascinating. Its energy signature is fluctuating across multiple spectrums. Commander, has it eaten anything since you brought it here? Eaten? No, we haven't exactly been offering it meals. And it hasn't tried to leave the station. It could have fled when you first encountered it. Vextel S. eyes blinked in sequence again. No, it followed us. Daniel and Anna exchanged a look that Vextel couldn't quite interpret. Then Daniel did something that made every being on the observation deck freeze in horror. He walked toward the containment field. What are you doing? Vextel S. voice rose to a pitch that his translators struggled to render in standard galactic. Opening the field, Daniel said calmly. Absolutely not. That creature will what? Kill me. Daniel smiled, and there was something predatory in it that reminded Vextel why humans, despite their physical weakness, were considered dangerous. Commander, with respect, that thing could break out of your field in another hour or 2. This way, we might solve your problem. Before Vextel could protest further, Anna had already hacked the containment controls. The field dropped in a section, just wide enough for Daniel to step through. The Leviathan immediately stopped thrashing. Its form solidified into something almost reptilian, multiple eyes focusing on the small human who had entered its prison. Daniel reached into his fabric bag. Every weapon on the observation deck trained on him, ready to fire the moment the creature attacked. But Daniel's hand emerged, holding something completely unexpected, a ball. A simple, blue rubber ball from Earth. "Here's the thing about apex predators," Daniel said, his voice calm and conversational as he bounced the ball once on the floor. The sound echoed in the sudden silence. "They don't attack when they're full. They don't attack when they're scared. They attack when they're bored." He threw the ball. The Leviathan's eyes tracked its movement with laser focus. Then, faster than anything that size should move, it pounced. Its massive form crashed into the far wall that caught the ball in what might have been a mouth. Daniel held out his hand. "Bring it here." For a moment, nothing happened. Then, slowly, the creature flowed across the floor and dropped the ball at Daniel's feet. Its form had shifted again, now resembling something almost canine. If dogs were made of living starlight and cosmic horror. Daniel picked up the ball and threw it again. The Leviathan bounded after it, with obvious joy. Anna was grinning at her datapad. "Commander, look at this." Its energy signature just stabilized. Stress hormones, or whatever passes for them in its biology, are dropping rapidly. "It's a juvenile," Daniel explained, throwing the ball a third time. "Probably equivalent to a 6-month-old puppy in its species. It saw your ships and thought friends. Then you locked it in a box and started hurting it. So it panicked." Vexthel watched in stunned silence, as the most dangerous creature they'd encountered in decades played fetch with a human using a children's toy. "You're telling me," the commander said slowly, "that the solution to our crisis was ... a ball." "And understanding," Anna added, still scanning. "You assumed it was a threat and treated it like one." Daniel assumed it was scared and treated it like a lost puppy. "A lost puppy that can phase through solid matter," Daniel corrected, catching the ball as the Leviathan returned it. "But yeah, sometimes the answer in a bigger weapon. Sometimes it's just ... this." He scratched behind what might have been the creature's ear. The Leviathan made a sound like singing stars and rolled onto its back. The observation deck erupted in chaos, some beings cheering, others demanding to know how humans had made it look so easy. Still others already composing reports that their superiors would never believe. Vexthel watched as Daniel continued to play with the cosmic horror, and thought about how humans had been welcomed into the coalition with skepticism and doubt. They had no natural armor, no claws, no telepathy. They could barely survive on half the known worlds without environmental suits. But they had walked onto his station with nothing but a rubber ball and the absolute certainty that even monsters could be lonely. Perhaps, Vexthel mused, that was the most dangerous weapon of all.